My inspiration is Eva Fay. Around this time, an American performer by the name of Eva Fay came to England. She was also investigated by Mr. Crookes. This is Anna right here. Most of us come into our spiritual inheritance through great sorrow. Eva Fay. When her mother died, she was about 10 when her mother died. Her father, a traveling shoemaker, why a shoemaker travels? But he did. A traveling shoemaker could not afford to care for his daughter. In those days, foster children had to work for their keep. Little Annie was kept in the shed in the backyard. This was in Connecticut in the wintertime. She was kept in a shed in the backyard, and she was given chores to do from sunrise to sundown. Annie ran away. Wouldn't you? Annie ran away, was taken in by a spiritual study that believed she had the gift. She knew that her room and board depended on her ability to produce spirit manifestations. Now, what I'm trying to share with you is a story about a real spiritualist from this particular period of time. She's female. Typically they were. There were many male mediums, but typically they were female. And many of them were from a situation like this. She had a family willing to take her in, but only if she could do a seance and produce a result. When the daughter of the family that took Annie in was able to produce better manifestations, Annie was asked to leave. She was maybe 17 years old. Can you imagine? The family that took her in said, "I'm sorry, our daughter's better than you. You're going to have to go." So out she went. With only 65 cents, she rented a schoolhouse, bought a few candles, advertised, and thus began her professional career as a medium. She held a seance in the schoolhouse. She charged a fee. She took the money from the fee. She went to the next town. She did it again. She went to the next town. She did it again. This was in the late 1800s. By the time she was 23, Anna was known as the indescribable phenomenon, not just in the United States, but throughout the world. In her 23rd year, on February 19, 1875, Anna was tested in the private laboratory of Sir William Crookes. Several other scientists were present. Here's a little detail. This is the Victorian period. These were English gentlemen. They said to Anna, "We want you to show up at our house at 7 o'clock for testing." In London, unescorted. Now, if you know anything about Victorian etiquette, you know how inappropriate that really was. So she came. She came to be tested. Though connected to a current of electricity. So let me show you what they did. They took her to the spirit room, the spirit cabinet, where she could have some privacy. They would allow that. They tied her to a chair. And there are photographs, there are drawings, there are reports. Scientists would do all kinds of bizarre things to people that I won't even describe to you. But let's put it this way. They knew that she didn't have apparatus. They thoroughly checked her out. They tied her to a chair, and they put one hand on a negative current and one hand on a positive, so that there was a light field of electricity running through her body. If she lifted a hand off of the pole, it would interrupt the gauge, and the scientists would know that she had moved. That was an invention of Dr. Crookes. Though connected to a current of electricity that, if interrupted, would alert the scientists, bells rang, astral images emerged from the dark, voices were heard, information, this is the key for the scientists, information known only to those present was revealed, and objects throughout the entire building were moved and relocated. The scientists said no human agency could have achieved the effects observed. She declined their offer for an escort home. They felt bad. They said, let me take you home. She said, "I can take care of myself, thank you." Eva Fay, 20-some years old, "I can take care of myself."